The weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather. And we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Today it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here, as it'll be the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Atlanta Falcons. A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Their own 23-yard line. Play fake, and they'll throw with Penix. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. This defense for the Rams, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Washington.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and a yard. A run for the first time with Bijan Robinson. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And the Falcons, first down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
From the shotgun, it's Penix. That's out wide here for Robinson. The Falcons at 2-1 now to start the campaign, and they moved back above 500 with a victory last week.
And you look at their start, a win, a loss, then a win. This might be something we see from them a lot this year, because when they're at their best, they can play with anybody. But bringing their best every week, that's been a challenge thus far.
They'll throw with Penix. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the result. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
Here's Penix. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. You talk about this Rams defense. Coming into this one, ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
When they lack in pass defense, they do make up for in run defense. They're a top 10 unit against the people trying to move the ball on the ground. But this is a passing league, so there's the conundrum for them. How do they get better defending the pass?
Second and 10. To the air, Penix checks this one down to Robinson. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Rams are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them, and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it, he saw the numbers we saw, he watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be, but early in this one, advantage defense.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
14 yards.
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Quick strike out wide by Jackson. Down the sideline he goes. Touchdown, L.A. A great effort there. His fourth touchdown on the year. And the Rams take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. The Rams kickoff team on the field, and here we go with the ball in the air. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They threw an interception the first time they had the football. Wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. And looking to throw, Penix. And complete to Drake London. And he stops right at the 25 after a gain of 5. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. There on the stop is Leo Chanel. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I've not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things up.
I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball, let him do his thing, and then get it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. You talk about this Rams defense. They come into this one ranked number 5 in the NFL against the run.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now they've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
And a dump off here to Robinson. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Short throw caught by Pitts. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta, second quarter action. The Falcons with the football as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. They'll go for it. Here's Penix. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll go out of bounds to the red zone just inside the 20. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one.
First and 10 at the 17-yard line.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's first and 10. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Looking to throw Penix. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive, stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. And the last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Throwing is Jackson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ferguson. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter.
First down, Rams.
Jackson. Baldwin with it over the middle. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. And it's going to yield a new set of downs. So 3 plays already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
60 by Buffalo, a ship track 60. Cowboy 80.
Now it's Jackson. Now he's going to step it, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. A very costly sack there on 3rd and goal, pushes him back big time, and now you figure the field goal team coming on 4th.
Let's go now.
3rd and goal, Jackson. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 10 yards gets him closer, but now it's 4th and goal.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the 2 teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
taken a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
And partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
Here's 2nd and 10. A play fake. Now Penix. That's complete. He finds Jaden Reed. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. His first catch, good for 14 there and a 1st down. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run this one right with Robinson. And taken down just shy of the 40.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a 1st down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Here comes 3rd and the length of the football.
Let's go now. 70.
Robinson will try to pick it up. And good vision there. He's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Short throw caught by Pitts. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
To Kyle Pitts. 10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches at the 35-yard line.
Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this 1st half. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Cowboy 80, 19 Lions.
Now Penix. And that is incomplete. Now the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
Hey, here we go. Bronco 80, Panther 11, Panther.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. Let's go.
They'll drop the throw. He's got his pass-catching tight end. That's Pitts. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
They'll try to throw again. Here's Penix. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
Now a 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop the throw. That ball is caught. It's London for the Atlanta touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the first half. Crew able to connect on the extra point. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. Oh, good move. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now 2nd and 3.
Come on. Check, pass. Check. Cowboy 80.
Jackson going to throw quickly here, complete. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. But he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half on as the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. He's got the leg, but it's no good. He missed it right. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles, so as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one, and we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee Wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
Now it's Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Jackson now. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one good for 37 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Again, Jackson. Now he'll tuck this and run. This is complete. It's Baldwin. It's going to be a nice pickup, but he also takes a pretty good lick at the end of that one. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here.
Here we go. Strike. 70 Timberwolves. Panther 11. Panther 11. 19 tight. 19 tight.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And the Falcons are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Operating from the gun, Penix. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Leo Chenal. And he will bring it back. It's an interception return for a Rams touchdown. Well, the offense, Charles, they were flirting with disaster, already backed up deep in their own territory. So the interception and the pick 6 ensued. That was a big play.
It certainly was, in the short field gave him a rare opportunity to take it all the way back and quickly. And once he saw that he had open field, there's no way he's going to let that opportunity slip away, and finds his way into the end zone.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Throw left side, there's London. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Throws right back to London, complete again. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
To throw again is Penix. That's going to be brought in by Higgins. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
To the air, Penix. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
3rd quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. They'll try the left side. Higgins. And some nice running, going to get him down close to a first down at the Rams' 19-yard line. 9 So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On third down, Robinson. And Robinson will not get there. Great defense at the point of attack to stop him short of the first.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. On the bootleg, it's Penix. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked off by Emmanuel Forbes. And the Rams are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on fourth down. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. After the interception, here's Jackson. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Jackson. Now he's going to step up and run. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Up the middle they go. Baldwin. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
He's brought down at the 42-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Second and 5. Here's Jackson to throw. Going to be taken in here by Nakua. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 22-yard line. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
And let me tell you, that wasn't as easy as it looked. Dancing away and moving forward for 6 yards. Second down and 3.
Come on.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Baldwin. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And the Rams are going to be set up with a first and goal as they get the conversion there on 3rd and inches. So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Now Jackson. And it's caught. Touchdown, Rams. Luke Musgrave, his first touchdown on the year. And the Rams are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead now up to 14.
Will Reichard to kick off.
The Rams kickoff team on the field, and here we go with the ball in the air. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
At their own 31-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this
to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Now what a first down pickup of 8.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. On the RPO, that's complete right side. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now a handoff up the middle. It's Higgins. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, go for a touchdown. But the runs that really make it work are the ones where you just get what you need, right? He barely got the first down, but he got it.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. All 3 timeouts remain, but they've got to score quick. It's 1st and 10.
Viking 18. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates.
Here's Penix. And a dump off here to Robinson. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They'll come up now, 2nd and 9.
18. Come on. Set.
They'll go play action here with Penix. And the Reds got him. They bring him down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. That one behind his receiver and incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
Let's go. 18 Cardinal. 18 Cardinal. Take over.
They are going for it. Penix. That's to his running back, complete. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the 4th quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. 64 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
As always, no rooting interest here, but that was pretty, wasn't it? To see him break through and then pick up his stride.
Yeah, the guy carrying the ball loves it. I think the O-line, they might like and take more satisfaction out of those runs than anybody else.
Without a doubt, because they're the ones that often have created it.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 10. At the Falcons' 30-yard line.
Hawk 70. Hawk.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Baldwin. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. So the LA Rams were the victory here, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better.
Tried so hard to raise me right, but I was born